See it grow like a ride, oh, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to the masses, a list of many, think less but see it grow like a ride, oh, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to the masses. On my rocket ship, on my rocket, on my rocket, on my rocket.
All right, what's up, guys? You. All right, we're live. Let's get it. All right, I appreciate you guys. Here we go. We're ready to roll. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you. What a trippy morning. What a trippy morning. That's all I can say. Good morning. All right, what's up? Edicted. Hello. What's up, Luis, Salvador, Edgar, Jose, Brandon, Amy, Greg? Y'all were all here on time. I was Still snoring, actually. What's good? What up, Marty? Hello, hello, Seth, Corey. Buenos dias, todo el mundo. Morning. All right, so let's dive into it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, I don't know if just we shut off all of our alarms because of, like, the wedding weekend. But, yeah, I literally just woke up. Crazy. Sup. Wild. It feels very strange and bizarre to wake up at New York Open. So, let's do it. Now, at this point, looking at how things are kicking off and how things are actually structured between Dow and Q, we do have a little liquidity sweep of Asian highs. Yes, we took out London highs, but this is kind of just an arranging area. So in order to take advantage of this situation, I think what is interesting to me the most right now is the way we swept these highs here for Dow. So if you can see, we have a lot of an uptick in momentum to the upside right here. And so you see the market take this out, play into this level, and then drop. We see similar setup. The difference though is that we haven't seen lows beneath this low, so we haven't seen that type of structure, that confirmation that it's bearish. We're still staying within the zone. So we clear it. The market kind of just goes in one direction. And then when we dropped it back in here below 46,850, definitely a loss of... Yeah, this is an indicator. So I think Seth put me onto this one. It's called Farah Trading Sessions High and Low. So you can just search this one up, and then it just gives you the previous highs and lows for session. Yeah. So right now, yeah, like as you can see, we did just clear out Tokyo highs. Not really enough for me to take anything here yet. I think one of the first things that we just saw was New York Open clear out London lows, attempt to get, to make a higher high. It kind of failed in doing that. We saw it pump up, come crashing right back down. It does give a good rejection here, so you get a pretty good reaction. I wouldn't have taken a buy here, but it did make that move before it just dropped right back in. So I have zero interest in trading within this range with Dow. I'm curious if we do rally back up to here, maybe we get a play there. But that's really about it. Yesterday we had our NASDAQ play go into profit before coming back and stopping me out. So I did take a -1R on NQ yesterday. Kicking things off though. And this will also give us a bit more clarity, but with New York Open in these last 20 minutes, we saw the market push down. NASDAQ pushes down some more, and then we finally get a good reversal in these last 5 minutes. So Dow and Q in kind not really trading in the same direction, right? Yes, they both dropped a little bit, but Dow was pretty choppy until it started to drop about 10 minutes ago. Whereas, and maybe the 1 minute will give us a bit better price action here. But you can see NASDAQ was only going down before the reversal these last 4 or 5 minutes, whereas Dow Jones is pushing lower and lower. So price action again, correlations not the best. So what can we see or do? in this example. Now, typically we want to see, we can understand that liquidity is placed. There is liquidity below previous session lows or highs. In this example, Dow clearing out London, clearing out Tokyo lows could give us a decent setup. Just like, how we looked at that trade yesterday. This was our trade from yesterday where we saw the market clear out London lows, Tokyo lows, played into an imbalance before getting a reversal. Okay, we're seeing London lows get cleared out, Tokyo lows get cleared out. The difference here is I don't really think we have too much of an imbalance or anything here. So I think we can actually clear out New York lows as well, more than likely here with Dow Jones. So to me, I could see this get below even these levels, going more towards, where we have Tuesday's price action in general. So right now, as you can see, we're starting to create liquidity here. Meanwhile, now we're seeing NASDAQ come right back down. So what does NASDAQ have to show us? Where would NASDAQ be looking to trade into? And there's a couple zones. The first one, which would be trading out of Wednesday's sell-off here. So a huge short before the market rallied. That's one zone. The second area that I'm curious about would be over here, where this is after New York session. We see a nice push down below everything, and then everything rallied. So we see a nice move down here before we get a continuation. So the question is, can we get a reversal here? Now, to go into Dow Jones again, because we're seeing just a very aggressive move. If we go back, Dow, I had this marked up with Dow Jones last week, and it was a nice sell here. See if you can see it better. A nice push down. Clears liquidity, fills in balance, and then we see the market just absolutely rip. So I do like an area here for Dow, which would be mitigation. So the last sell-off, I think we can get a reversal out of here. And what I want to see, though, is where does NASDAQ line up with the market? Because these are moving generally in the same direction. And I do think we have the opportunity to clear below basically the week's lows and trade into last week's price action. So can this line up with NQ? Can we see the market work its way to here where we had yesterday's sell-off? Now, if that is the case, since we're kind of trading in between this big range, like this is yesterday's trading range, like whenever we're in like the middle of a range like this, typically I notice that we could get a reversal. So we may get something like this where the market trades into here. And then we might get a good bounce, but then the market targets kind of the lower zone. So this I have seen happen many, many times. So to have a conservative play here, taking an exit kind of into a previous structure point, does typically, it just ensures that you trade this, that like you can get something out of the market here. Because these are the remaining zones that I see here between Dow and where we can get some reversals are these two zones right here. And considering that Dow is just leading the push to the downside, I prefer my shots with NQ. But what do you guys think? Let me know. What's the vibe? What's the vibe, gang? Now, final piece of the puzzle would be to just have awareness here with S&P. S&P here as well. We're looking at S&P has found some traffic. This is now already trading at this area where we had that last dip down before it rallied. So over here, it only makes sense for price to keep working its way down to these to this structure order block. So I think if we get S&P into, filling this imbalance, playing into this area, Dow Jones maybe approaches this zone, then we can have NQ buys actually make sense. Would you go half R due to the imbalance? You could. You could. Yeah, let's see. Brandon said he caught the Asian sweep on Dow, just closed 1-3, not looking to buy it, so waiting on NQ. And question for you, how did you handle this trade when it came back up to this zone twice? So you had it clear liquidity here, once by like a point, then you had it pump one more time by a couple more points before it really started to crash. Curious to what that trade management looks like for you. But yeah, more than anything, I wanted to see if we were going to get up to here, like a true liquidity capture, and then make a move down. So for now, I'm not necessarily too much in a rush. I think we'll probably work our way down to here within the next hour or so. Honestly, probably less. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's indices. Quick little slide through to there. That then sets up for Bitcoin. Bitcoin also could line up. We saw this during London session, right? Big push down, takes out some buyers, and then rallies. Like this really comes right back in. So this push to the downside, not so much an indication for me at least that this was luring in or confirming bearish structure. This to me looked more like another liquidity sweep before it rallied. But thank you so much. But we also don't trade after the market starts to rally. We don't hold this either. So we're not getting strong confirmation on direction. We're actually losing momentum every time we want to work our way higher. So could the market bounce out of here? Yes. But is it a strong, does this indicate that we would continue higher? No. If anything, this could bounce out of here, but just to have kind of an intraday move. So maybe you'd get something like this, like a reversal off of the zone, but not necessarily a continuation in structure. Like if you notice, every time we come up to these levels, this is just losing the momentum. On my data feed, it didn't get above the first pump, waited, so got entry on the second one. Nice. Went break even into our R and let it 1-3. This is on my own back tested data though. Oh yeah. I know you've been practicing on you've been working a certain entries for yourself. So cool. And I love that. That's what this is all about. Like, for me, it's never been like, oh, you have to trade exactly like me. It's, the goal is to build data for patterns, behaviors, an edge that you find, and then be able to execute that at the highest level. So awesome, Brandon. Love that. Had a big drop on silver. Yeah, let's go take a look at the rest of the game here. We are getting closer though. So if you guys are have your alerts set, know your contract sizes and all that good stuff, in case that we come back to this here in the near future. So kind of know what it is that you need to take a good position here. So let me just get through my math here. All right. All right. So, and as you guys can see, just to give you an extra iteration, Dow is pushing down. So, it's still kind of leading that move to the downside. So, I am leaning more on NQ. And then I'll have 2 alerts just so I can be ready in case it drops. All right. So, silver. Here we go. Ooh. Okay. Looks like a nice little distribution potential here. Silver went and just got shy of $50. Seeing that time and time again where you have people like their exits at those whole numbers, so it'll get right close to it and then reverse. So this could be the beginning of a distribution, higher highs, higher time frames. You see the market just clear out all retail sellers. This takes out, this. I think this is all-time highs. So I want to see us maintain this, demand down here. See price stay pretty bearish before looking for a potential trade. If you guys look at silver. We haven't been out here in ever. So, actually, yeah, we just hit all-time highs dating back to 2011. So, just cracked it for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, now we'll kind of wait and see what this looks like. Look at how we cracked below here. We did have this sell candle from London session, so it looks like it's mitigating that right now. If you pull up gold also starting to crash. Looks like we're getting these signs of distribution as well. So, we had worked our way down to here. So 15-minute lower lows. After we had kind of rebalanced, the market then went on to work its way back up here. And then now we came into this level, traded right out of this imbalance. So if you are trading metals, this played out of Asian session. Yesterday's Asian session right over here, saw a little drop. So a nice little rejection here. I do see potential in buys later on over here, but I also see quite a bit of potential in sells. So between gold or silver, I do think we could see a nice little selling opportunity here. And then I would look for one like right there, I think. So 5 minute, yes, we're bearish. And then, clearing out significant amounts of liquidity here. Retail buyers and buyers and buyers. London lows trading right into Asian session imbalance right there. So if we continue bearish, I'm definitely open to silver idea, to gold or silver sells. Kind of just depends on how we see these, like what price action they get, but open to this, most definitely. To bring it back, we saw Dow now after it's cleared out. London, Tokyo, New York. This is cleared out all previous day and the weeks, and the weekly low as well to trade into Thursday's area. We're getting our first bounce. These types of moments typically lure in buyers. When you finally get a good bounce, these can start to bring in that FOMO type of retail buy where it's like, okay, now it's the falling knife type of buy where you get the first reversal So all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, it's now it's gonna go up, now it's gonna reverse. Let's go ahead and make a move here. Whereas I'm a big fan of trading after it sweeps multi-session liquidity, but it also has to be reasonable. So there has to be actual motive and incentive. And this could start to give a shakeout setup. You guys know. Clears out multiple session liquidity, and then the market comes back up. But it would have to create some bullish demand before I just start taking buys. So this has potential for buys, but we need the final confirmations. And then the other side of the coin here is that does the market have enough liquidity for NASDAQ to turn around, for S&P to turn around? And I look at this, and I just see tons of imbalance with like S&P as well. So I'm just not fully sold on indices being at their reversal point yet. Maybe we're seeing Dow Jones there, sure, but yeah, we'll just see how the market gives us further confirmations, because yes, we did just clear tons of liquidity here. Pull this up over here. Like, we just got all this, taking out London, Tokyo, New York lows. And then now we're getting to a point where we quickly see the lack of demand that at least Dow Jones has over here. And now look at this. Now Dow is trading way up here, and NQ is still looking to go a little bit lower. So will we have alignment with NQ in this, like the beginning of this sell-off, and then maybe we get that pullback to then make the run for it? So with Dow now sweeping liquidity and the market coming right back up, if we can maintain kind of this, kind of stay pretty bullish, then a pullback might be giving us an entry here. So right now we're seeing an imbalance right over here. So depending on how this keeps trading, yeah, maybe we do get a buy position, but we need that demand though. If we don't get that, then we just don't really. Then you don't want to chase this either. So yes, we lost that momentum right away. Now it's basically, is this going to hold up or not? If this crashes back down too quickly, then I wouldn't consider it as an opportunity, and I would just keep waiting for the setup over here instead. Okay, metals, gold is bouncing out of the zone. So is silver. Okay, anyone take these metals buys? Oil buys. Let's see. Oil here squeezing. So we're building up liquidity up at these zones up here. We saw that the fail yesterday kind of failed to maintain these lows as well before the market rallied. So we did a nice little imbalance fill there. During London, we crash, come back up, come right back down. So in my opinion, this just looks like a lot of liquidity everywhere. Where I see potential, and arguably this has already went down though, where we had this sell-off here. We see the market push down. So let me show you guys something here. So we see the market crash from up here. But it does look like it mitigated. Okay, so check this out. Here we have that sweep of the low. Plays into the imbalance. The market rallies. Comes right back into here. Now, a difference, though. A big difference here is that this could arguably play only out of this order block and not necessarily the big sell-off. How do we distinguish like what the root of this is? And it's a little tricky because you then see it sell off here, then rally. The market then respects this zone and then also rejects. So since we already came into this zone, I'm not going to force an idea here, and I will consider this mitigated, just because you can get a million different opportunities. Now, what we could be seeing here now is the market could be setting up for a higher confirmation, like a higher probability play. So right now we saw a sell-off to fill the imbalance, and then we see the market recover. So we could be looking at oil buys. I want to see if we get above these highs, and then I could approach this later. All right, NQ staying sideways. Dow also chopping up. All right, let's take a look at majors again. So we've been crashing here. Australian dollar took out the highs, pushing its way back down. This could lead to a potential setup where it cleared it. Might be looking at something there in the future. Pound, everything, the structure is just playing out really nice. It's not a lot of not a lot of smart money setups here that are like playing out. It's more just typical structure, just reversals. So that keeps me out of the market, but that's okay. So we could come back to this and play out of this zone. Gonna depend on how bullish everything else is, but it's dropping pretty aggressively. The dollar's gaining some strength right now. Look at CAD futures. Finally getting more of a breakout here. Take out the high, rebalance, down it goes. So yeah, this definitely could be a sell zone as well. Keep this one here in mind. Now, if you wanted to see big picture where CAD futures is going, like just if you wanted to look into the past and see, is there anything happening over here? Are there other key levels? Like is CAD futures targeting something? There is a bit of an imbalance after this big sweep here. So it might be looking to reverse out of here soon. If you trade CAD futures, take a look at that. All right, that brings us to the euro. Still bearish, not necessarily, again, like I mentioned, not a lot of smart money action going on here. The yen clears out liquidity again. This sells people on the idea, okay, finally the things are going to start to reverse, and then it just comes down again. So we had talked about yen futures and how we were approaching a like daily time frame reversal. We still have to drop a bit though. So Not quite there. Gonna wait until that happens until we get anything else. NZD working its way down. And yeah, so everything pretty similar. Really only the pound seems to have a clear liquidity sweep, like a real mitigation zone here. That's what's kind of standing out to me. And then we have potential with Australian that clears highs and then also works its way lower. So like right there. So one or the other here. Now Dow, let's see, just went and hit my alert. So okay, what is this looking like? Dow kind of chopped up a little bit. Coming back into this imbalance here. This is where I was considering a buy opportunity. I'm not really sold on this. Maybe it plays out, but we clear out multiple session liquidity. After that's done, the market tries to come back up. So, we see it quickly refuse to really trade at these levels. And then, we move sideways here for about 12 minutes or so. Tried to go up here, lost it. So I'm not sold on this just because I just feel like we could see NQ push further down, and that just seems like it would push Dow Jones further down too. And also, we just really struggled to hold any of these highs either. Like we quickly would come back down. So I'm not really convinced on this. I've seen better shakeout plays. So yeah, I'm not gonna take this. Could this still run? Yeah. It's got okay potential. So I'll leave it up to you guys. But yeah, it did come up into the area we were interested in. It's clearly working right now. So this is about a 20-point bounce so far. My only thoughts are if NQ is not gonna sustain this and push us lower, then that would seem to just push Dow Jones lower. But I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. All right. Stocks wise, nice bounce with Webull after it came down to our lower area. So this is hovering like a quick look at how quickly this thing did. What a beast. 15% in like 24 hours. After tanking. Let's see. Big moves on Delta after earning reports. What else has got some motion? Ferrari tanking right now. Oh, Ferrari just tanked into my zone. Look at this. Mitigated beautifully out of the zone we had here and trading right into our lower zone there. Excellent. Ferrari doing its thing. Full port. Ferrari on margin. Get the Rari with the Rari. Come on. Who's doing it? Running options play. Ferrari. Bet the house. Question, Mike. When you mark up an institutional candle zone, is one of your rules that the candle has to be preceded by liquidity that was swept or not? That has the highest probability for success. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Like the setup sweeping liquidity. So let's explain why is that such a strong level. So we got to go back to why is money involved here, right? So when the big players open up these positions, right, they push the market in a specific direction to either induce for the creation of more to capture retail money or to create retail money, to incentivize orders to get opened or to force orders to be triggered in. So, for example, if there's support right here and this clears it, there's expected to be retail buyers here. So the market gets to here and it gets to these types of prices so that, remember, when in order for the market to open, in order for like a trade to open, there needs to be enough money on the other side of it. So if I want to open up 5 contracts, let's say right now, let's say I wanted to trade right now 5 contracts, someone needs to be willing to be on the other side of that trade. So if I want to buy here, down here at 46,600, 5 contracts, well then someone needs to be willing to sell me 5 orders at this price. Someone needs to be willing to let go, right, to sell at this price. So if there is consolidation, then there's a lot of buyers in these areas. And then if you break below support, then you also know that, okay, there's going to be traders willing to let go of their positions there because they want to minimize their losses. They want to just say, okay, you know what, let me get out of this. And so you can get in because they're willing to sell you their positions. And that's basically the logic. So when you see a big sweep, the reason that I like these kinds of setups is because I know that it's very clear that these are smart money moves because of all the liquidity that is swept. When you have just like a candle, like an order block, yeah, it could be still creating some sort of a reversal, but you don't have the same type of money come in. You don't really necessarily know that. What was the incentive behind that? So, that's why those are kind of the bigger. Like for me, it's a very good example of a lot of money coming in. It's kind of like undeniable, if you will. What up, Smokey? My bad for all those typos. You're good, bro. No worries. No worries at all. Okay, so we're seeing Dow still push lower and Q trying, but then failing. So we're seeing NASDAQ fight to stay bullish. Like, yes, it's dropping, but then it comes right back up. These kind of situations are, if you've noticed this before, this allows for a lot of buyers to come in and then they take them out. I wouldn't be surprised if it ranges again and then it goes and takes it out again. So typically, like when people are trying to get the buy, like you get the spike and it comes back, you get another spike and it comes back. So now basically I just wait for, just got to let the market come to us. It's pretty simple. Okay. What a recovery here. This is a very, very, very good sign for Webull. This is a liquidity capture played into this previous low. And then now either this thing just sends it or we maybe even shake out and then run again. Appreciate the explanation. In the past trades I take usually get frustrated because I have an institutional candle mark, but it'll blow right past due to time frame ranges or not being lined up with my other confirmations. Yeah, so just one push down isn't like the end all be all, right? We want to put it all into context. Like it's like a story. Like it needs to fit the plot. Think about it like that. Like what is the plot? What is the story? of the market. It's basically like it's in a way it's like the opposite of Robin Hood. Like, this is Robin the Hood. That's the movie. So, okay, where do they take from the people? And then is there evidence? What are the clues? What are the signs that we have the bigger players in the game, with nefarious intent? If you want to think in that method, I think you can do pretty well, just considering it through that lens. All right. So remember, for everyone, we didn't. Here we go. All right. So as you can see, and it says right on here, U.S. government data may be impacted by the shutdown. Tentative events are subject to delay, revision, or cancellation. Typically we have unemployment claims Thursday morning. Today, things were not like that because that is data that comes from the government. Now, tomorrow, we have prelim University of Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations. This will go through. But if we look at the month, so you guys are locked in here, meeting minutes obviously didn't go down. Next week, we have Powell speaking. Federal Reserve is not part of the government. That will go down. Wednesday, CPI more than likely will not happen. PPI will more than likely not happen. Unemployment claims more than likely will not happen. So a lot of delayed information, which will come back later on to, we'll just come back later. We'll just see. PMI here for next week. This should go through. This is not a government, like, this data doesn't come from a government source, so should be good to go. But yeah, be on the lookout. Okay, so all right. Let me pull up here the chat. When does Powell speak? Today? Honestly, for me, historically, I'm just kind of more interested in red folder news. But I don't, he did speak a little earlier today. So it was a pre-recorded video at the Community Bank Conference. This was at 7:30. If you notice, didn't really see anything happen with indices at 7:30, and then same thing goes here. However, if we look at the majors, though, the dollar started to see more momentum. Same thing, only with New York Open. So, it wasn't really too much that happened. BF6 is out on Friday. No trades for a week. BF6. Is that Battlefield? Yo, that's funny. He's ready. He's like, yeah, Battlefield's coming out. We don't really have time for this whole trading nonsense. Well, here's what you do. You just take a glance at the market while you're in the lobby. That's all you can really do. A little look. So, we'll see. I might have to buy a PS5 for Battlefield 6. That's why I do art. Dope. All right, guys. So we are working our way through. We're starting to see that alignment that I was talking about, where we could have Dow Jones pulling up into the zone, NASDAQ pulling up into the zone, and then S&P as well. Look at this. S&P just about to get to where we have structure and the imbalance as well. So all of these things are lining up, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what I want to see. So indice buys here. Specifically, I'm leaning towards NASDAQ, but I like where we're getting to. Oh yeah. All right, so about to pull the trigger. I want to see NQ work its way below 25,215, and we're just about to get there. All right, so I'm just gonna keep the patience going just a little bit longer. We don't need too much more for this one. All right. No way, you gotta focus on the kills. I mean, when you're in the lobby. Oh, you're saying you got to check your KD and all that? I don't know if KD is a thing in Battlefield. I think it's like points or whatever. Okay. We got, let's see, just another, honestly, one more push down. Remember, this is always going to be a test of patience, a test of your impulse control. So this is where you'll have FOMO kick in. This is where you'll have... Remember, like, what you have on your chart and what you do are two different things. The analyst and the trader, it's like two different people. So make sure that those are as aligned as possible. Right now, for example, let's say you had an idea here, and you're like, oh, well, I wanted to buy NQ. Oh, it's leaving without me. People end up taking their buy right here, and then, you know, a couple minutes later, it ends up getting back to exactly where you wanted it, but now you're sitting in drawdown with the trade up here. And then you're probably thinking, how does he know that? It's, well, because, guys, I've been this person. I've been this person. So, duh, I know. Yeah, so I want to see, I think Dow, there's definitely evidence that we could see it deeper into this imbalance. We have S&P that should push. I don't think we saw an alert here, but we should push, you know, further into this imbalance as well. All right, right now it's playing out of this little order block, so I think we could go just deeper, but S&P now is in this range where it's doing the job, right, rebalancing. I would have loved to have shorts in here, man. The shorts would have been great, but I just didn't have a setup. All right, we're about, give or take, 30 points away from an entry. Now, there's kind of two entries you can take, either near the open. I don't really ever trade off the open, but near the open here, maybe a little order block, or in this imbalance. And this clearly gives a better risk reward, is if you have the market like right there instead. So right now, trading right into the open of this area. All right, starting to give a little bounce right away. All right, again, that'll be another test of potential FOMO, etc. Looks like it's starting to trade away right off that. So again, this doesn't surprise me. Here's a little, you got the order block, the little sell. So typically you can get a little bounce there. But I do think we can go lower. I think Dow can go lower. So that should give NQ another push to the downside. Who's trading out of the open? Maybe you're already in. Who's waiting a little bit longer? Who's just not going to take buys? Who's got different plans? Let's see it. Let me hear it. All right, Dow bouncing a little bit. Waiting a bit longer. Okay. Smokey, you said looks like gold going to retest 4K. Going to watch it for a potential buy. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at gold here in a second. We can go back, check it out. All right, so we're starting to get, again, another bit of a bounce here with NQ. Not the risk reward that I wanted. So, yeah, despite a little 15-point bounce here, not really it for me yet. I think our push down was significantly bigger, so I'm cool with waiting. I'm cool with letting this thing, play out. Considering the fact that Dow has cleared aggressively, like tons of liquidity, and on the higher time frame getting into this 4-hour level, honestly, like if you wanted to throw a little bit or maybe even different types of risk into a Dow Jones play and an NQ play, I kind of get it. I could see it. I could see Dow wanting to start to, like, considering how much liquidity it swept already, any buyer from this entire week done for, and then trading into Thursday's price action. So could be seeing quite the reversal out of here as well. All right. Where are we at with S&P? Okay. All right. Now, some of you are, let's say, not really. I took shorts on NQ. It was following my plan, and now I'm done. Congrats, Isaiah. Hey, I had DMD, bro. Buying and selling. Can't lose that way. There you go. Looking for sells right above that New York high from yesterday. Yeah, would love that. 40 points caught. Well done. I'm waiting on NQ to get lowered to around 25, 115. I think you got it then. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, trading out of this area, I could see it. Your RR definitely takes a bit of a hit, but it's there. 2R potential, right around even now, that still could be giving a 2R. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, then obviously be my guest. Trading out of these levels right there. So all of this here for me is kind of what I'm interested in, like this whole move. But obviously nothing is promised here. And then that goes back to what we have going on here as well. So am I getting too picky on this now? It looks like it. Look at that. 18-point reversal already. Now here's the thing, right? If this thing keeps ripping and then it wants to go lower, then that's where I could just wait for NQ to work its way down to here. So let's say this thing just does a very significant bounce. Don't necessarily have to take this trade again. But this hasn't mitigated yet. For all I know, this can just come right back down. Now, what does look very interesting is Dow's price action is a lot different than NASDAQ now. If you notice, NQ, and here's NQ, and here's Dow. NQ coming right back down. Dow Jones starting to have a lot more bullish price action. Starting to hold up. Actually want to trade higher. So look at how things are switching up. So big picture, we might have a better we might have a good chance at buys with Dow. And it's because it's just two different zones. You have Dow playing out of this higher time frame area, and you have NQ playing out of this lower time frame area here. So what I'll do is, considering that we're seeing price action kind of flip around now and Dow is a bit more bullish, I'm cool with taking NQ buys, but I am just going to be a bit more conservative. I'm going to risk a little bit less on this one. But like I mentioned earlier, I do want to see it go lower. Get down to like that 25, 200 or under. Yeah, get like under here into this range. Okay, let's see here. All right. What about you guys? You guys already in? What's the word? How are we feeling about this? All right, so the stop looks like it would be right around there. Let's see. Okay, slowing down. All right, so look at this. We have, here's the 1 minute. Dow pushing lower again. We got NQ working its way lower as well. Okay. Making lower lows on NQ, while Dow holding up a bit better though. So I'm actually going to diversify my risk on this trade. I'm going to go half risk NQ, half risk YM. Now we're trading within the imbalance here with NASDAQ. All right. Dow pushing lower as well. So we got that set up. Cool. Holding up. Look at NQ's holding up really nice. All right. Excellent. All right. Who's in, guys? I'm only in on NQ right now. What's the word? Getting a good bounce. Let's go. There we go. All right. Decent, decent. Healthy moves. Right under 25,200. Got in right around here. We're getting about already almost a 20-point move already. Well done. Nice. So we're getting a great reversal so far. If we look at price action here, we can see that the market really starts to drop from around here. I would say we get at least a 45-point move. Kind of just depends on where you decide on where the sell-off starts. But yeah, we're getting a good reaction so far, right? Nice move here. 25 points or so. I think adjusting stops to break even might be a little premature, but if you are wanting to play this extra conservative, then moving to break even at that point, I totally understand it. Dow also, great reversals if you guys decided to take a position there. So let's look at this on the 1 minute. All right, nice little push up on Dow. NQ, very similar. Nice, good. Nice move up, I think. NQ with a little bit more heat. All right. Let's see where we go. I think minimally we clear kind of these highs here. We just take out these this liquidity, these previous sellers. There's a ton of liquidity over here right now as well. Like Nasdaq is showing a lot of retail sellers. So seeing the market go up to 25,300 to me looks like a pretty good target. That would then give well over a 4R. You have liquidity sitting up here as well. So during London session, we create a lot of liquidity. Same thing. You have then New York session and or Asian session create liquidity here as well. So you got these Tokyo highs. Honestly, depending on how everything plays out, there is a lot of targets here, right? You have a whole bunch of different types of movements that you could see. At this point now, guys, definitely moving stops to break even would be a great idea. What just happened? Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we're clearing these areas for the first time now with NQ. So you're seeing that. Clear those areas right there. This is what we wanted to see here. Nice. So, yeah, good stuff here. What the? All right, something is happening right now. My bad, guys. Like, accidentally sold my positions. Trying to use like a hotkey or something here. Why is this being weird? All right. Well, that's okay. All right. So, good movement right now. For those of you looking to target here, you're sitting at almost a 2R already. I'll zoom out here in a second. But check this out. So we have here right? We're playing into some structure right now. Market's moving really nicely. If you're looking at, okay, where would this, let's say, imagining this ran out of steam, where would this take out the most money before then, I don't know, ideally even coming back down? It would be for the market to clear these highs here with Dow Jones. So this would be clearing liquidity for Dow. If you look at S&P 500, it would be very similar. S&P would be wanting to climb its way to clear out these retail sellers. So S&P, like the initial target for him, it logically looks like it would be here. So I do think we can work our way further and further. Dow stalling out a little bit. And Q just keeping his thing, doing his thing. So yeah, we have liquidity targets for sure. So across the board, make sure your stops are in the right place. So I'm moving some stops here. All right. Got these stops in order. Okay. TP here. All right. Cool. All right. Let's see. Break even there. Perfect. Okay. Smooth sailing. Dow not as so one thing that happened that was interesting is we were seeing Dow hold up, right? And then we saw it kind of start to crash down here before we saw not just Dow Jones but also NQ start to reverse. And interestingly enough, Dow Jones hasn't even mitigated yet. So this was like a huge sell-off, 108 points, 107 points. So I would expect us to see further a bigger push from Dow, which should help NQ rally some more as well. So let's definitely see this one through. Cool. Let's see, chat. What's up, chat? How are we doing? Where are we at with this trade? Did we, are we at a 2R? Close? What is your exit? So let me know, guys. Put some W's in the chat if you're up on this. If you hit some whatever R that you have. You guys hitting profits. You're passing challenges. You're getting payouts. What is the word? I want to see Tradetopia winning. Yo, Mike sneezed. That's hilarious. Oh, man, you're crazy. Gotta go to work. Later, man. Looking to buy. Okay, cool. Cool, Dre. Run your play. Got filled in. Only NQ. Love it. US 30. I'm in both. On NAS. Great. Missed you. Now, is this the part where you use the measuring tool to measure the move into the zone to determine the move of stop loss? Yes, exactly. TP on Dow. For my, the most conservative exit would be here. So I'd say where we would have targets, money would seek to clear these highs. This would be the most conservative play. I wouldn't be surprised if we filled imbalance and play off a structure, though, either. But this would be the first one. It looks to me like, so let's zoom out a little bit. Now we have, remember, Dow is doing higher time frame things. So we had the sweep of liquidity. Let me go 30-minute here. And, we're done in 4 minutes. This is when the hourly candle is going to close. But you saw the sweep below. Captures tons of liquidity. This allows for more money to also come into the market. So we see the market push here significantly. And in order to eliminate, I would say, the next batch of retail traders, we would have the market clearing these levels here. So playing into the zone. From there, then you'd have more imbalance getting filled out, which would be playing into this area up here. So first target would be just about 46,755, 46,760. And then from there, the next target for Dow would be 46,823. Yeah. So there you have it. Dow pushing nicely. Looks like it can target here. And this would be basically similar with NQ, which would be targeting the liquidity up here. And then there's alignment with S&P looking for those highs as well. Stop and profit. We up 1 to 2. Well done. Ya estoy en break even sin riesgo. Eso es todo. W for NAS. Didn't get into YM. That's all good. Well done. Already moved stop loss to break even. Holding. Great. Great job, guys. Yep. And Q further moving along here. What the fuck? All right. There's definitely something happening here because it's not doing what I need to. Top Step is bugging out today. I don't understand why. I keep pressing to change the time interval, and it keeps adding contracts to this trade. It's going crazy. Like, if this wasn't going in my way, this would be absolutely awful. So I have to it's literally open 5 contracts. Okay, here we go. And then it'll open it. Obviously, there's a cost to opening those contracts, and then it I have to close it once it's like right away. So I'm literally losing money just because it's this. I don't know what's going on with this thing. All right. So let's see NQ ride. So right now we saw Dow just take out a little bit of this choppiness that it was building up. So first initial move here, a little bit of imbalance fill, NQ holding up significantly better. So this, let's see if this is just going to be a fill and then a continuation. On Dow, if you did take Dow, I'm not at, I would say you could let this thing ride a little longer. For sure. Right now we're seeing basically the trend line stack up positions here. It's all yours if you want it.
I think it's Hector's, right?
Yeah, that was half and half. Cool. Well, guys, I mean, it's a great trade. Should be sitting at around 2.5 R right now, almost 3. Just depending on whatever your exit strategy is. So follow that. Trade what the market's showing you, not what you want. You're about to, we can see that we're about to meet where we've had some resistance, some liquidity. So a breach above this, to me, makes sense logically. So, ride this out into the sunset, folks. Cool. Well, I'll leave you guys at that. This stocks video should be out in about 30 minutes to an hour, and go from there. Yo, Mike, I think a sell NQ above New York yesterday's highs is a possible win. I agree. Nora, you passed your second challenge. I didn't even know you passed a challenge. Sheesh. Let's go, Nora. Let's give it up for Nora. That's amazing. Shake out on NQ. What are you thinking? It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Took 1 to 2. Followed my fixed RR exit. Love it. It came out already. Just got the notification. Did it? Let's go. 5K. You made 5K, Jose? Hey, bro. I take donations. You know, we take Apple Pay. If you want to keep that, you know, check out the syndicate. Just going to say that right here and there. But, nah, congratulations, Jose. That's amazing. Let's put that in the right place, all right? So, Mike needs his cut. Yo, facts. Come on, now. Gracias. Dale, Jose. Excelente entrada. Well done, guys. So what we'll do from here is I'll let you guys go. Do your thing. If you guys, you know, tax, brother. Nah, that's crazy. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. Keep following your plan. At this point, you should have absolutely no risk on the table anymore. So just let the trade flow. If you're already out, call it. Don't need to do too much more. I do think there's potential for this to keep going, but again, nothing is ever promised fully. And then if you guys didn't see last night, we did a training, kind of gave an inside look on what the syndicate feedback sessions are like and kind of how we go about you know, progressing traders in real-time environments. So you can go ahead and check that out. That's posted in the school. And then, yeah, go check out the stocks video. The challenge has begun. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to post it here. Make sure you, before you go, do the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. All right, guys. Peace.